In a battle between the future versus the present won pretty resoundingly tonight, as the Bucks really relatively destroyed the Spurs. It was not a super competitive game from the second quarter and on. Bucks went on a 15-0 run later in the second quarter that pretty much kind of put the game out of reach for the rest of the game. It was just one of those performances where the Bucks were just clearly the better team tonight. It was the type of win for me, for Milwaukee, that's like, it put them back on track. I feel like for a team that's kind of been struggling as of late since the NBA Cup. And yes, Giannis has missed some games. Dame has missed some games. They've had like an injury or an illness going around the team. But they haven't been great. They've lost to some lottery teams and some stuff since the NBA Cup. And recently, I mean, this was a big game. This was a big win, a type of win that kind of reestablishes them on national television and puts them right back in that, yeah, they're serious contenders. And let's pay attention to this Bucks team. Maybe not title contenders as much as Cavs and Thunder, which we saw that game was a masterpiece tonight, but they're in that second tier. They're very competitive, and when they're playing well, they can absolutely beat any team in the NBA. And we saw it in the NBA Cup final when they eviscerated the Oklahoma City Thunder, who again, I talk about as championship favorites. So before we hop into the video and discuss more, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 2,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, tons of consistent daily NBA content. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. With that being said, without further ado, let's hop into it. So first things first, like I said, battle of future and the present. Obviously, that refers to Wemby versus Giannis. Wemby only 10 points, 10 rebounds, 4 of 10, 2 of 6 from 3. Not a super efficient performance whatsoever for Wemby. Only 1 assist to 3 turnovers. Was not great, whereas Giannis is a plus 13, 25 points, 16 rebounds, 8 assists. Really, really dominant performance by Giannis. The type of game where he went, yeah, hold on, Wemby, you're great, but you're not there yet. And Wemby honestly kind of got caged by Giannis specifically tonight at times. I felt like Giannis defensively was really, really impressive against Wemby, and it was a great game. And I mean, Dame has an efficient 26 points on 13 shots. Like, that's what you love to see. 8 assists, 5 rebounds, only 2 turnovers. Brook Lopez with 22 off the bench, again, pretty efficiently makes 5 threes. Had himself a solid game as well. And then AJ Green, freaking secret weapon, man. Him and Gary Trent both had great games tonight, plus 20 and plus 22 for the both of them in their 22 and 24 minutes respectively. Both those guys knocking down a bunch of 3 balls, a combined 8 for 11 from 3 from those 2 guys tonight. Taurean Prince back in the starting lineup. It wasn't amazing, but they have decided apparently to bench Chris Middleton. As of now, he played 21 minutes tonight and was okay. I mean, plus 20 is nice, but 2 of 7, 1 of 5 from 3, had 5 rebounds, 3 assists, no turnovers. Like, not what you love to see from Chris Middleton by any means, but he played his role okay. And I think, again, he may end up as a starter again at some point this season. Definitely want to find him continuing to get back in the swing of things, recovering from double ankle surgery and things of that nature. But overall, it was one of those wins that was very, very encouraging for Milwaukee after, again, like I said, a pretty recent skid. They're up to 19 and 16 on the season. Standings have not updated yet as I record this because I started recording before the game it ended, but they're 19 and 16 after tonight's win. Puts them only a game and a half behind Orlando for that 4 seed. Again, Orlando's about to get Paulo back, but they still are without Franz Wagner for another month plus at least. Mo Wagner's out for the season. Like, that's a realistic target, is that 4 seed for Milwaukee. They feel to me very safely as at least the 5 seed, although technically in terms of games, they are only, I guess they're tied with Indiana. Indiana's played 4 more games, but I do feel pretty confident, despite Indiana's resurgence as of late, that Milwaukee is going to be a top 5 seed. If I'm Milwaukee, the goal is to wind up as that 4 seed, though, so that you get home court advantage in the first round against Orlando or Indiana. They've played better as of late, with the exception of that stretch, obviously, recently, without Giannis and Dame as much. But winning the NBA Cup very much showed what this team is capable of on a night-to-night basis against some of the best competition in the NBA. And I thought they were really good. I really did. Like, I thought there was a lot to like about Milwaukee recently in that NBA Cup stretch, and tonight was another indicator of that. I love this team, the ability that they have to defend this year. I thought defense was going to be an issue. Last year it was. This year, I mean, it's not amazing, but they're 10th in defensive rating. Like, defense is clearly not the issue that we thought it was going to be in Milwaukee this year. Giannis is having another great defensive season. Brook Lopez just simply refuses to age. I mean, he's been the same skill level of player for several years now, and he's really, really useful as a legitimate rim protector who shoots the ball a lot, makes a lot of threes, plays his 2 roles very, very well. And offensively, he's actually been the bigger struggle for the season. They're 15th in offensive rating, but again, Healthy Dame, healthy Giannis, now a healthy Chris Middleton, that number should start to progress up towards the top 10 as well. I think they are a top 10 offensive team and a top 10 defensive team so far this season. And I like the depth that some of these role players have shown as well. When one of the other things that early in the year when I was worried about Milwaukee, I was worried about their depth. They've clearly showed to have some real depth ability. And it's one of the things that I'm very, very impressed about with this team. I mean, Dame is obviously great. Giannis is obviously one of the best players in the league, been shooting the mid-range better than ever. He's over 60% from the field, 31.5 points per game, almost 12 rebounds, 6 assists, like dominant player. And Damian Lillard, we know how good of a co-star he is. But it's everybody else. It's Brook Lopez not regressing, still being a 37% three-point shooter and averaging almost 2 blocks a game. It's Taurean Prince being almost 45% from three, playing really, really well in his role this season. Bobby Portis, not a rim protector at all as a big. I don't love him as a player, but he does, again, provide that floor spacing that can be very valuable next to Giannis Antetokounmpo at almost 40% from three. Gary Trent Jr., super rough start to the season. Since then has been knocked down. 41% from three. Chris Middleton, look, he hasn't played great since returning from injury, and yet he's over 40% from three, and he's also averaging 5 assists a game. I feel like as he continues to improve in his health, he's going to continue to play better. AJ Green's at 45% from three on over 5 attempts a game, like an absolutely knockdown sniper. And the other thing about AJ Green is, yeah, he shoots almost no twos, but he's really solid defensively. Not only is he a knockdown shooter, he's actually a really good defender as well. He has become a really important key rotation team player for this team as that 3-and-D wing, him and Gary Trent Jr. both. And with Gary Trent, that's what's expected. That's what's expected. Like, that's what he was signed to do. With AJ Green, at least as a non-Bucks fan, I didn't see this coming this season. And maybe it's just because he mostly played in garbage time last season. I didn't watch the Bucks as much as I maybe should have in the second half of the year, when he played some, but I didn't expect him to be this impactful of a player. He has really come in and been an absolute weapon for this team as a 3-and-D role player. And that's the type of player when you can add him into the mix for free and have him become a really useful high-level role player. Those are the type of X-Factor players that can elevate a team's ceiling. And AJ Green has done exactly that this season. Andre Jackson Jr., another high-effort, high-impact defensive guy, even if he's not great offensively at all. I just like this rotation from 1 through 9 anyway. Now, after that, do we trust DeLon Wright, Pat Connaughton, Marjon Beauchamp, anybody like that? No. I mean, I don't have any confidence really in the rest of their roster, but 1 through 9 or so, through about Andre Jackson, I have real faith in this team, and I think they have legitimate depth. I think they have enough floor spacing and shooting surrounding Giannis to where he can be at his best and he can really dominate. And I just think that this team, look, I get the record isn't great. 19-16 isn't perfect, but we have to keep in mind they started the season 2-8. They also won the NBA Cup final, so that's an extra win that doesn't count towards the regular season record. And I mean, besides being 2-8, that makes them 17-8 in their last 25 games, not including that NBA Cup game. So if you include that, it's 18-8. Like that's high level winning basketball. That's elite. That's an elite record. And that also keeps in mind, you have to keep in mind there that Giannis and Dame have both missed 4 games apiece from injury or illness recently. Like, this team is in a good spot. And so yes, they've slumped a bit recently. I think understandably so. And I think they're still in a very, very good spot to be a serious contender in the Eastern Conference. Certainly not a team that any top Eastern Conference team is going to want to match up. They can give the Cavs a serious matchup. They can give the Celtics a serious matchup. Like, this is a very, very competitive team that absolutely could beat anybody in a playoff series. I truly believe that. And as the season progresses, I think they're going to continue to round more and more into form and start to look like a very, very scary team. So with that being said, that's going to do it for the video. Hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I will be back with more NBA content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.